up a recording just to get some of this damage here. Flying over. Roger.
This was one of our first and best perspectives of the destruction. This is over the Dutch Caribbean territory of Saint Martin. It was taken from a search and rescue flight from another Dutch island, Curaçao. And the pilot at the controls is Canadian Wade Fleet. He flies for PAL Aerospace, a Newfoundland company that is under contract to the Dutch Caribbean Coast Guard. And Wade Fleet joins us now from Curaçao. So you're one of the first Canadians to see the damage from Hurricane Irma. Can you paint us a picture of what you saw?
It was shocking, actually. It's one of the pilots who just came back from one of the latest missions said the same thing. It was his first time up there. And he said the pictures and the video doesn't give you any possible impact of what you see. And I've said in a couple of times when people have asked me, the island from afar looks fine. Sun is shining. You're flying in. It's about 20 miles back. When you get closer, and when you start to see the impact, you start seeing, the vegetation is now gone. You're going to see large buildings damaged. Some of them look more like a war would do than weather. And everything is strewn everywhere. There's boats up on the shore, well within where they should be of any kind of capacity. And of course, roads are barely passable if possible. So it was shocking to see. It was shocking to see because I know the island very well. I've flown in and out of there many times. So when you see it in this capacity, it almost looks foreign to you.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that because we're looking at some of your footage from your flight right now. So what was it like for you personally to observe such devastation from your vantage point?
I think it was rather emotional because you don't just think of the structures and the buildings. You think about the people down there, and I know people down there. So you think about them. You think about how they're doing. You think about their lives ahead, and you think about the primary industry in St. Martin is tourism. That's gone for at least the foreseeable future. So mostly people.
Tell me a little bit more about, because you've been working with the Dutch military from the island of Curaçao to take supplies to St. Martin. So what kind of stories have you been hearing about the people that have really felt the impact of this storm?
Well, it's funny when you have big events like this. It brings out the very best in people, and sometimes it brings out the worst. So there's stories, of course, that I think we've all heard about looting and robberies. But there's also stories of people helping each other and making sure that families that don't have a home anymore are taken in, that sort of stuff, to at least have a shelter. So that's most of it. And a lot of the people that we've extracted out of there that needed to get out because they were in peril. I've seen stuff like that in movies, I guess the best way to put it. But when you see it in real life, their emotions, and they were very upset and very grateful to be out. I think that's the biggest thing I'll take away from it.
The Dutch King, Wilhelm Alexander, said the scenes of devastation he witnessed on St. Martin were the worst he had ever seen. How do you think Dutch authorities have handled the aftermath so far?
I think they've done an exceptional job. This is not a storm like anybody's ever seen before. I mean, and of course, everybody's heard all the statistics about it. Very fast to respond. Right now, everything is in full swing when it comes to the full effort of the Dutch government to assist these islands. So I think it's been very good considering. Now, obviously, anybody would hope that's dealing with these situations that on the ground for things to happen perhaps maybe quicker. Sometimes they can't. But I think that overall it's been really, really exceptional on behalf of the government of the Netherlands. And I'm very proud to be assisting the government of the Netherlands in their help.
You've said that you worry, though, the people in those islands are going to be forgotten. Do you still feel this way?
Well, I've been pleasantly surprised that of late, I thought in the wake of Florida, perhaps there would be forgotten, but so far they haven't been, and that's good. So I'm encouraged by that because they're going to need long-term help, not just in the next days and weeks to come, but St. Martin is going to be a year or two before you see anything that, looked like the past.
Wade, appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Thank you very much.